Hey, what's up? Welcome to another episode of the PepperPack Podcast. I am the Dr. Pepper teacher, Zach Bowman, and with me tonight is just some Dr. Pepper. We're all busy, but I'm going to make a commitment to be doing these questions every day. But I just got to say, I have missed that music. For those of you that don't know, we used to have a different streaming website that we provide our podcast through, and we had all these great videos and clips. And when we switched our server, our streaming site, we lost a lot of that stuff. But Richard, shout out to you. You've been working hard, and you were able to get us some of our backgrounds and videos back. And I am just so thrilled to have that countdown video again. It really puts me back in that podcasting vibe. So tonight I'm by myself. I'm gonna make it quick, but I first got a shout out. I posted a video earlier. I took one of my former students over to Just a Sip, and we got some Dr. Pepper with the coconut creamer to relive the creamy coconut Dr. Pepper days. But he had brought me some Dr. Pepper from Canada because he's got family up in Canada, so they usually go up once a year and around Christmas time. So I have right here a Canadian Dr. Pepper can. It's got some different designs on here. There is a little health warning right here, which I thought was kind of interesting. It says high in sugars, Health Canada. So the Canadian people are concerned about your sugar intake. The design feels shrunken down. You know when you put those little plastic wraps on the Easter eggs, and then you dip them in the hot water, and the whole logo and everything shrinks? I get a lot of that feel from this Dr. Pepper logo, but that's still kind of cool. What else do I got on this can? There's definitely some French along with the English, some parallel language lettering there. Down here, they got the Canadian maple leaf on it, which is pretty cool. I know you didn't really get a great look at that, but check my Facebook later. I'll be posting pictures. So I figured I'd crack this open, give a taste test, and see how it compares to the American version. So without any further ado, 1, 2, 23. Smells very similar to Dr. Pepper, so that's always good. I would say this tastes near identical to Dr. Pepper that you can buy here in the States, which is good. Usually when I buy Dr. Pepper from international countries, I've got some Dr. Pepper from the Netherlands, Japan, South Africa, England. The ingredients just aren't the same, so the flavors thrown off a little bit, but this Dr. Pepper from Canada with the Canadian designs on the can, or the French and then the Canadian maple leaf, tastes just like an American Dr. Pepper. So that's good. But tonight's pondering pepper question is a question about questions. I mentioned that last night as Richard and I were wrapping up the episode and just asking each other questions. I was like, "Oh, this is a fitting question for tomorrow night." So let's see what that question is. And if you're commenting or if you're watching, go ahead and comment. Feel free to interact. It's great to have people to talk to. So tonight's pondering question 1726 is: do you ask enough questions, or do you settle for what you know? And my wife, if I remember correctly, when I was just typing this a minute ago, was like, I want to say she told me that I ask enough questions, but I don't remember, or that I like to ask a ton of questions. And I thought I kind of self-reflection was like, no, I ask questions until I know what I need, and then I'm like, I'm good. I don't need to ask any further questions. But I could be wrong. Maybe I don't. And it kind of depends on the situation. There's some times where I'll ask questions because honestly, sometimes I feel like I know the answer, and I don't think in a certain situation a person may realize what they're doing, and I might ask questions until they realize it, and that's my non-confliction, or to not cause conflict to get them to realize it. But I also sometimes ask a ton of questions because I just have no idea. And then I'll get bored or angry that I can't figure it out, and I'm like, I don't want it anymore. I don't care. Thinking around Dr. Pepper, there are some questions that I would like to ask, and I don't just want to settle for not knowing. Obviously, first question that I think we all would agree is we want to know what are the 23 flavors, because Dr. Pepper's got 23 flavors. It says right here in the can. Actually, that says something in French, and I don't. Okay, here's the English version. Oh, that's cool. They got an English and a French version on there. It says authentic blend of 23 flavors. But I would love one day to find the recipe, and obviously I wouldn't share it, but just to be able to say, hey, I've seen the recipe of the Dr. Pepper flavors. I know Google thinks they know what the 23 flavors are, and if you Google what they are, it'll tell you, but it doesn't necessarily mean that those are the actual flavors. They've not proven it. And then even if they are, you don't know the amounts that you're supposed to do in each. But I had a fun game lined up for tonight. If Connor or Richard were able to join me, we were going to play the question game. If you've ever seen Whose Line Is It Anyway, they play questions where you can only talk in questions. So tune in another night when I have a guest with me or another co-host and we can play that game. I think it'll be a lot of fun. But do you ask enough questions or do you settle for what you know? I feel like I could go really deep with this as I sit here and ponder it, because I'm asking more questions of myself and I'm not just settling for the basic question that it's asking. Hmm. I could probably be a little bit of an answer yes and no to this question. There are times where I definitely want to ask more questions because as a teacher, we always say, knowledge, we should be a lifelong learner, continue to learn, continue to gain knowledge, continue to ask questions. But there are also some areas and some fields and topics that I feel like I have a firm grasp on, and not that I don't want to grow in those, but areas that like I'm confident that the questions that would be asked I already know. So then the question becomes, are you asking the right questions? Which then says, hey, I'm not asking enough questions because I need to ask some more, so I ask the correct questions. So I'm not settling. This is like a whole inception. What level of questions are you on? And if you can go 23 levels of asking questions, does that make you a pepper questioner? Hmm. The things we don't know. The things we do know. So, what I'm going to ask you is if you have any questions related to Dr. Pepper, related to the podcast, related to my collection, please give us a comment, like, share this post. We would love to chat and interact. If you haven't already, hit up our Redbubble store. It is scrolling across the bottom. If you go to redbubble.com, search for the Pepper Pack Podcast. We have all kinds of great merchandise and logos and stuff on there. All our logos are on there. And again, another shout out to Connor. He was able to get or not Connor. Connor created our logo, but shout out to Richard, because Richard was able to update one of my favorite logos. I love this setup logo. We lost Josh, but we gained a Richard. So Richard's face has joined our iconic Pepper Pack host logo, and I love this. image. Josh, when you come back, man, we're gonna have to make this a 5-circle image, and that'd be great. And he's able to get the backgrounds and countdowns, and so I appreciate that. But yes, check out our Redbubble store. That's where I was going, and you can get that image on multiple things. I have a sticker on the back of my computer. Actually, that's on my keyboard that ripped off, so I'm gonna have to buy a new sticker. They have it as magnets. You can get it T-shirts, coasters, all kinds of stuff. Even a clock. That's what I need. I need a clock. Um, and so that supports our podcast. We appreciate that. And then all our social media, our Twitch, our Facebook, our X, our Instagram. You can find us with the PepperPack Podcast, but check out that link tree. It's got it all in one spot for you. So we appreciate that. And yeah, we're going to keep it nice and simple tonight. Not too much, just a short little video. I'm going to enjoy the rest of this Canadian Dr. Pepper and then call it a night because I got to teach people tomorrow. Well, stay caffeinated, be blessed, be a pepper, and until we drink again, we'll see y'all next time.